So today I'm going to show you how to make cinnamon rolls. So to start with, I'll put all the dry ingredients in a bowl, and that is 470 grams of strong white flour, 600 grams of plain flour, 10 grams of salt, 20 grams of baking powder, and 14 grams of dried yeast. Next, I've added all the wet ingredients. So that is 480 grams of water, 2 large eggs, 125 grams of whole milk, and 57 grams of butter. So next, I'm going to mix it all together. And then we're going to knead it for about 10 minutes until it's nice and smooth. So after about 10 minutes of kneading, it should be a lot less sticky. It should all be mixed together. It should look very smooth, and you just want to roll it into a nice tight ball and pop it back in the bowl. Stick a cloth over the top, and we're going to leave that for about an hour and a half or 2 hours to prove. So you can see now how much the dough has grown by. It's very light and springy. So I'm just going to knock it back, knock all the air out, and then I'm going to fold it back into a ball, and I'm going to give it maybe another hour to prove. So next, to make the filling, I've melted 120 grams of butter, and I'm going to add 400 grams of dark brown sugar and 15 grams of cinnamon. And that just needs to be mixed together. So to shape the cinnamon rolls, I've weighed out 850 grams of the dough. I'm just going to sprinkle with a little bit of flour, and we're going to roll it out to about the size of an A4 piece of paper, probably a little bit larger. Flour. And to get it nice and rectangular, you can stretch out the corners. I think that will do. So now I'm going to get half of our filling and a spatula. And you want to spread it out evenly on the dough. You can use a palette knife or just the back of a spoon. Try and get it as smooth and even as possible. I'm then going to start at this end and I'm going to roll it all up very tightly. So roll up a little bit and then pull it back, put it back, roll up a little bit and then pull it right back. And this should help it to get a really nice spiral shape on the inside. So, I then need a chopping board. And I want to cut it into 12 pieces. So roughly in half first, half again, and then these pieces into 3. And we look at that there, lovely spiral. I'm going to put them onto a baking silicone tray. I'm going to do 6 on each tray because they're going to grow a lot. And then when they are done, when they're cut, I'm going to cover them with a cloth and leave them to prove even longer. So do the same with the other half. So for the icing, I have melted 85 grams of butter and mixed that into 180 grams of cream cheese. And then I've added 260 grams of icing sugar. And I just need to mix that together. So when it's very smooth, you might just find it's a little bit stiff. It's not going to pour very easily. So we tend to add just a tablespoon of milk. So mix that in and that should loosen it up. So when the rolls are roughly doubled in size, and they should be quite airy and springy to touch, we're going to preheat the oven for 5 minutes at 165 degrees, preferably with a fan. And then the rolls go in. And at 165, I'm going to give them 16 minutes. So as soon as the rolls are out of the oven, they're lightly brown. It took about 18 minutes in the end. And I'm just going to pop the camera down here, because the next step, whilst they are still warm, is to take a spoonful of the mixture and try and evenly glaze each roll.